Good morning, guys. It is me again, your favorite Texas trucker, and the sun's coming up. I don't know how well you can see, but there is some light out here now, and I am in Oklahoma. I'm roughly an hour away from my first stop. I'm running on one of these back roads, State Highway 2 through Oklahoma. I do that quite a bit. In this case, I'm doing it to avoid toll roads because I didn't feel like paying the toll originally. And my first route that I planned, I was going to go ahead and run all the way down 35, and I was going to go ahead and pay the toll road in Oklahoma. 35 turns into a toll road in Oklahoma. But the route that I chose, I didn't realize that I was choosing a toll road in Kansas, right outside of Kansas City. And I saw the sign that said last free exit. I pulled over and I had to look at my route. So I went ahead and I rerouted to go around the toll road, and then I just figured, screw it, I'm not going to pay the one in Oklahoma either. The company will reimburse me for the toll in Oklahoma. I don't know if they'll reimburse me for the toll in Kansas. That still means I got to come out of pocket, and I don't really want to come out of pocket. I've just kind of got an issue with that. So, you know, where the easy pass will work, and you know, the easy pass takes the toll, I'll run through the tolls all day long. Where the easy pass doesn't work and it doesn't pay the toll, I'll avoid that shit and go around it. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. So I'm gonna pass through Big Cabin, but I'm going to avoid the toll road, the little strip of toll road that goes through there. So I'll cut over on 69 and you know, and cut around that toll road, go down through Big Cabin. And, I'll be stopping in about almost an hour, not quite an hour. It's a little old rundown Love's. There's not very much room in it. It's hard to maneuver around. Hopefully there won't be a lot of traffic. I can get in and out. So anyway, and then I'll replan my last stop for today and see what I can get to. So anyway, you know, I was thinking about a few things, and lately there's been a lot of pictures showing up on the internet of guys dropping their trailers, and a little bit of talk about it. I've seen, you know, a few pictures, and a couple of them were taken by, drivers who actually witnessed it, or said they witnessed it happen. So, you know, drivers lie a lot, but, you know, I don't see any reason for them to lie about it. But anyway, they're dropping trailers, and a good number of these trailers that are getting dropped in fuel lines, right? Anybody that's been driving for any length of time knows that if it gets dropped in a fuel line, there's usually a reason for it. And a lot of times, and I've seen this myself, but a lot of times what happens is that you'll pull into a fuel line and then you'll go inside. And that tends to piss off drivers because, you know, they're sitting there behind you waiting, and you're creating a bottleneck. For the most part, if I have to do any extensive amount of stuff inside, you know, if it's going to take me a long time to, you know, do whatever I need to do, or if I'm going to go grab a bite to eat out of whatever restaurant they got in the truck stop, which doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. You know, if I need to go in and, you know, use the facilities, and I'm going to be in there for a little while, then when I'm done fueling, I'll go park. And then, you know, and then after I'm done parking, you know, I'll go in and take care of whatever I got to take care of. That keeps me out of the fuel line at all. If all I'm going to do is go in and grab a ticket, take a leak, you know, maybe buy a couple of things, come back out, then I'll pull forward. Either way, I get out of people's way. And so the first tip that I have for you, I got a couple tips here. The first tip that I have for you, all right, is don't block the fuel line. That's the first tip. I mean, that's a little bit of courtesy and a little bit of etiquette that seems to be quickly disappearing in the trucking world, and that is don't block the fuel line. You Understand that, and you should know this without even being told, but understand that every driver out there is on a time clock. We start that 14-hour day, it doesn't stop ticking, and yeah, you might be on paper logs, and you might be able to, doctor your logs so that, it doesn't look like you spend as much time as you have. But the bottom line is that the world is moving into e-logs, and e-logs, they can't be doctored like that. Once that 14-hour clock starts, it doesn't stop. And and so you block that fuel line. And just the other day I pulled into a Love's, and I was fueling up, and I glanced over at the truck next to me, and it was there when I got there. I glanced over at the truck next to me, and there was nobody fueling up, but he was in the fuel line. There was nobody in front of him. And it wasn't busy. I mean, there was like 8-10 pumps, I think like 10 pumps, and out of those 10 pumps, maybe 4 of them were in use at the moment. So, there wasn't nobody in front of him when he got there. The place was, it wasn't real busy. And instead of pulling all the way forward and doing what he had to do, or fueling and then pulling forward and going inside to do what he had to do, he just parked in the fuel line and left. And I keyed in all my stuff off the comm data, and I started putting fuel in the truck, and I got everything started, went to wipe my windshields, and there was no brushes there. There were 3 of them in the one on the far side of his truck, so I went over there to grab one, and I glanced over there, and there was nobody there. Nobody in the truck, nobody on the side of the truck, no fueling, nothing. And so I went ahead, and I just kind of shook my head, because that's the kind of shit that causes these problems. You're sitting in the fuel line, and sure enough, this one wasn't busy, so people could hit other lines. But it doesn't really matter, it does not matter. If you're not getting fuel, get out of the fuel line, because those things can fill up in a matter of 5 minutes. So anyway, I get over there and I do my fueling, and I think I put like 130 gallons of fuel in the truck, and so about how long that takes, and I scrubbed my windows, and I did all that kind of good stuff, and I got all the bug juice off of it, and I got back in the truck, and I pulled the truck forward, and I parked it, and I got out, and he still hadn't come out. I went inside, I used the bathroom, I grabbed a few snacks, I got my receipt, I checked out, I come back outside, he still hadn't come out. It's that kind of stuff right there that causes people to get mad. And, and when they get mad, they yank your pin, okay? So the very first tip is don't block the damn fuel line. If you pull into a truck, and I know I've pulled in, and I've had to go to the bathroom so bad, you couldn't hardly handle it, and but instead of blocking the fuel line and excuse me, I went to stop and the freaking light turned green. I was in neutral, so anyway, instead of stopping in the fuel line, and then going inside and doing your thing, stop in the fuel line, take a moment to at least start your fueling, then run inside, take a leak, come back out, finish your fueling, and get out of the way so that other people can get up there and take care of their business. If you can't do that, then don't even go in the fuel line. Pull up somewhere and park. Pull next to the cat scale, and go inside and take care of your business. And then pull in the fuel line. Whatever you do, but stay out of the fuel line, because it pisses people off. It screws people around. People are sitting there waiting for you to get out of the fuel line so they can get their fuel, and then they're sitting there waiting while their 14-hour clock is just ticking away, or their 11-hour clock, is ticking down, or their 8-hour clock is, ticking down, and regardless, they're losing time waiting on you, and that has a tendency to piss people off. We're on a time schedule, so stay out of the damn fuel line. If you're going to spend an extended amount of time inside, go park. If there's no place to park, get what you need done as fast as you can get it done and get out. But pull forward first. If there's a truck in front of you, you know where you can't pull forward, wait till he leaves before you go inside. You know, after he leaves, then go inside. You know, and do your thing. You know, after you get pulled forward. So that's the first tip. All right, the second tip. You know, sometimes drivers are just assholes. You know, I don't know why. You know, just sometimes they are. You know, they're assholes, and they do things that are screwed up for no real reason, and you can't figure out why they're doing it, or what their motivation for it is. But there's a couple of things that you can do to make sure that nobody does that. So if you're not blocking a fuel line, if you're afraid that somewhere down the line somebody might pull your pin, pull up, come to a complete stop, pull on your trolley brake right here by your steering wheel, and then do a tug on your trailer. All right, hold the tug, set your brake, let off of it. That puts pressure on your fifth wheel pin. All right, on your kingpin. It puts pressure on the kingpin. With that pressure on the kingpin, nobody can pull that pin. Nobody. There won't be anything for you to worry about. It's not going to happen. After that, the main thing that you need to be concerned with is that tandem lock. Because that's another one that people have a tendency to pull when they're in the truck stops. And if they pull that tandem lock and they unlock your tandems, and you don't check and you don't know what's happened, you could be setting yourself up for one big mess. First time that you have to get hard on those brakes, that tandem's going to slam into the back of your trailer, and it can rip that bumper completely off the back of the trailer, and you'll be dragging this trailer on the ground. Your tandems will go flying down the road somewhere. So you definitely want to check your tandem pins also, and it's easy to do. Just walk by and shine a light up underneath of it. If it's come loose, or if somebody's pulled it loose, you're definitely going to see it. Check those things. When I come out of a truck stop, if I pull forward in the fuel lane, I always hit my trolley brake and pull it forward just enough to make sure that nobody's going to be able to pull that pin. And then as I leave the truck stop and walk back to my truck, I swing around the back side of it. I check the seal on the back, make sure it's intact. I lean over and I look at the pin for the tandems. Everything's good. I don't have to check the fifth wheel because I know it's good. Ain't nobody going to pull it. And then I go on about my business, and I never have a problem. But I'm seeing these pictures show up a lot recently, where these guys are dropping trailers as they're pulling out of fuel islands, or dropping trailers as they're turning out of the truck stop, and there's no sense in it. I can't control the fact that there's some drivers that are just assholes, and they want to pull your pin. I can't control that, but what I can do is make sure that they can't pull mine, and then check my tandems back here in the back to make sure that they haven't pulled it. So anyway, it's just a little bit of a tip for you, and do with it what you will. I'll be stopped here in about 40 minutes. I'm going to get fuel. Based on my fuel gauge, it looks like about 120 gallons today, between 100 and 120. And then I'll be headed off for the last stretch of this journey. I got about 4 hours of drive time left, 3 hours and 40 minutes here, and then I'm going to pick up 15 or 16 minutes up here at the truck stop. I need that 15 or 16 minutes to get to my final stop for today. Or at least I did when I had this shit planned a little while ago. So I'll figure it out and make sure, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to need that 15 or 16 minutes. So I need to do a 30 while I'm up here getting fuel, and then I need to refigure out where I'm going to stop at tonight. I was going to stop at the rest area in Denison, but you know, we'll have to see how that works. Alright, that's the update, that's the tip. Y'all do with it what you will. Take care and peace out.